Hi, my name is Erica, and today I'm going to be giving you a walkthrough of my submission for project 2. So, for my project, I decided to work on Tamagotchi clone. I called it Legally Distinct Tamagotchi after we worked on Legally Distinct Pocket Monsters for project 1. And this is my GitHub page. This is just the README with some basic information about my project. Um, oh, one important thing here, I guess, is that under like the program description, I have all the list of like the use cases that I worked on, and this is up to date. So these were like the ones that I was able to complete. It's 6 out of 12 of the use cases, but I'll talk more about that later. Um, yeah, so I have a couple of branches here, one for each week that we worked on this assignment along with like the main master branch. And a total of 32 commits have been made. So right now I have a total of 8 closed pull requests from the past, and I'll show like my milestones too. So I don't have it for like every single use case, but I have it for use cases 5 through 12, which were like some of like the main use cases for this application. I closed one of the use cases, which is like the use case 10, the health one. It's like the only use case from 5 through 12 that I was able to complete. But if you click on any of the use cases, I'll click on the one that I completed. It'll show one issue, and that's just a comment saying like what I would have had to do before or in order to complete this this use case. So I clicked on that and then closed the issue and then closed the milestone. So that's what all of this is. So I'm done showing the GitHubs. Oops. And I'm gonna move on to the use case document. So this is my use case document for legally distinct Tamagotchi. And these were like some of the use cases that I worked on. I split use case 3 for my program into like 2 different parts. So the first part is adding like the non-admin user, and then the second part is adding like an admin user. Um yeah. You'll notice like at the bottom, I added like a bonus use case 13, which allows the admin user to set like the rarity of the Tamagotchi, but I'll talk about that later also. So this is the initial layout for my application, and it hasn't changed much since week 5 when we first came up with the project idea. So I based my application on I think it was either the generation 1 or the generation 2 Tamagotchis, I'm not sure. But it basically the one that I based it on had this basic layout with these 8 buttons here. So what I did was the first 4 use cases were um were already predefined, so I left those pretty much as is, as I'm sure like everybody did. But I took the 4 buttons at the top and I made those use case 5 through 8. And then the 4 at the bottom, I did the same. This is 9 through 12. I felt like I was cheating by deleting some of like the use cases. So I just that's why I just tacked on use case 13, which is what I added after I realized that I need some kind of admin functionality, and also I need a functionality that allows for like a need for a third table for my application. So yeah, that's use case 13. And this is my use case model. So the admin user can pretty much do everything the non-admin user can do, with the addition of being able to add another admin user and being able to set the rarity of the Tamagotchi. This is my entity relationship diagram. So there's 3 tables here. The first one is the Tomodex table. That's the one I added along with use case 13, but it's basically like a Pokedex, but like for Tamagotchis. So this one's really short. It just has two fields, the name of the Tamagotchi and the rarity as an integer. And then there's also the second table is the health table. And this one for like the first two fields has like the user ID and the name. So the name from the health table is the same as the name from the Tomodex table. And the user ID from the health table is the same as the user ID from the user table. And the user table and the health table have a one-to-one relationship because the health table is basically like the individual Tamagotchi. Well, what the health is it's basically use case 10. So when you click on this button here, a menu pops up with all the health stats of the individual Tamagotchi, and each user is only linked to one single Tamagotchi. So that's why these have a one-to-one relationship, and I can show that in the code too. So if you go into the database subfolder, I have these three classes. So health class, Tomodex class, user class, and then there's another class called user and health. If you click on that, it's basically saying that the UID, the user ID from the user table is the same as the user ID from the health table. And that's basically just telling the program that these two tables, have a one-to-one relationship. Yeah. So that's pretty much the basic layout for my application. Oh, and for the initial layout, so these 6 screens are all the activities that I have. So let me open all of these actually. Yeah, so in the activities subfolder under like the code, I have these 6 activities, and each of these activities correspond to like a rectangle in the initial layout. And for the home activity, this is like the middle part of the home activity, but I thought it was way too much code to like shove each of these like use cases and functionalities into like just one home activity. So I tried dividing them up into fragments. So I didn't get to finish my program, and that's why there's only like 2 fragments. But yeah, this is what I have so far. And the main fragment is just showing like the idle animation for the Tamagotchi, as well as like when you first start the game, there's this animation for like the egg of the Tamagotchi hatching, and that's what's gonna show, or that's where the code is for that, and like the main fragment. And then the health fragment, like I mentioned before, is when you click on this button, and then the health menu and like all like the health stats pop up for the Tamagotchi. So that's what that is. Yeah, so next I'll start showing some of the use cases working on the application. So I'll do predefined users first. I just reinstalled the application, so this is what it'll look like when you first install it. I'm gonna sign in as just test user one, test user one, login, and yeah, so this is the landing page. It's just gonna say start game, and then user is test user one right now. So that's that. If you force close the application and it disconnected, give me one sec, sorry. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I force close the application, there's nothing open. And then if we were to reopen the application, we're still signed in as test user one. So yeah, I guess it saved the information. So persistence is done too. Now I'm gonna show how to add a non-admin user, but before I do that, I need to log out. So I'm just gonna go start game and then log out and then create an account. Um if you type in nothing and you just press sign up, it'll say missing required fields. So that's alternate flow one. And then if you type in like test user one again, and then you type in like whatever for the password, sign up, it'll say username already taken. So alternate flow two. If you type in like test user three that we don't have yet, it'll add that and then it'll say start game user is test user three. So that's been added in there. And then I'll show how to add an admin user next. So I'm gonna log out one more time, log in as admin two, because we could only add it from the add admin users from the admin dashboard. So I'm gonna log in as admin two. So now we're logged in as admin two, as you can see down here. I'm gonna go into manage existing users and then add admin user. And then I'm gonna go to create new user. And then we get this dialog screen here. So if you type in nothing like we did last time too, just hit finish. It'll say missing required fields. If you type in a username that's already taken, like test user one, and then you type in like whatever for the password, it'll say username already taken. But if you add in like admin 4, admin 4, we don't have an admin 4 yet. So if you hit finish, it'll say new user added. And then I also have this functionality. So you get, if you go into manage existing users and then hit look up user info, you'll get all kinds of information of like the current existing users that's in the database. So right at the top, you'll see like the user ID and then like the is admin status, username, password, and then whatever Tamagotchi is associated with that account. If there is none, then it'll just default to egg because they haven't played the game yet. And that's where we're at right now with like admin 4 because we just created that account. So that's looking good. Yeah, so there's another way to add an admin user. You could choose from existing also. So you could make like an existing user that's already like in the database to like an admin user. So if you were to take like say test user 3 that's currently not a admin, I'll show it working with them. So yeah, so it has some of like the other the alternate flows for like some of the other like entries too. So if you press add admin, it'll say like missing required fields again, and then if you type in like whatever for the admin user and there's no like admin, no, there's no user period in the database that has like that username and you press add admin, it'll say invalid username. And if you type in a user that's already an admin, like admin 4 that we just created, it'll say already admin right at the bottom. And if you type in a predefined user, like say like test user 1, and then you press add admin, it'll say predefined user. So you're not able to make test user 1 an admin user. But I'll make test user 3, was it an admin? Yeah, and then it'll say new admin user. If you go back to look up user info, now the test user 3 is changed to true for like the admin status. So that's working as expected. I'll show deleting a user next. So right now we're logged in as admin 2. So you can't really delete this user since it's predefined, but I'll show that right now. So if you go into start game, um, so I'm gonna show it from like the home activity first. But if you were to go to this icon, this is like the exit icon, and then you press you select delete account. It's gonna ask you if you're sure. You say yes, and then it'll say predefined user because we're logged in as admin 2. If you select no, then it's just gonna close the dialog menu. Yeah, so next I'll show it from the admin activity. Yeah, so if we go back and then we go to manage existing users, delete user, we could type in any username that's existing in the database and we'll be able to delete that person. If we type in the thing again and we press delete, it'll say missing required fields. If we type in a predefined user like admin 2, oops, admin 2, yeah, it'll say predefined user. If we type in like whatever, it'll say invalid username because there is no user with that username associated. It looks like we disconnected again, so let me reconnect. Give me one sec. Yeah, so that didn't work. Oops. Sorry. Yeah, so deleting this user didn't work because there is no user in the database with this username. But if we were to delete like let's say like admin 4, we just go to delete user, admin 4, delete, account deleted. And then you could look at the user info again and you wouldn't see any of the info for user 4. So that's looking as expected, I think. Yeah, so I'm not gonna show any of these other use cases because I didn't get a chance to work on it, but I got use case 10 done, so I'll show that right now. The use case 10 is just oops, what happened? Sorry. I don't know what happened. Into hmm, okay, so use case 10 is the health functionality, and this is basically a menu that's showing like the stats for this individual Tamagotchi. So we have discipline, hungry, and happy. If you tap on it once, then this shows up. If you tap on it again, it goes away. And yeah, that's basically it. Later on I'm gonna have to code different like threads that make like the each of these um decrement over time, but I don't have that functionality right now. So when it's born, all the stats are gonna be full as you see here, and it doesn't go down from this point. So it's just gonna be like this like forever until I code the other threads that make it like go down over time. But this is where I'm at right now with the health functionality. The other one that I was able to get done was the set Tamagotchi rarity, which we should be able to do from the admin dashboard. So that's this it disconnected again. I'm sorry, give me one sec. Yeah, so that's this middle button here, so the game configuration. If you were to click on that, then you get this pop-up menu and you're able to set the rarity of the Tamagotchis. So Hanachi was the one that we saw right now, this worm looking one. So if you were to go to game config and then you set the other ones to like 0 and then this to like 100% and then the last one to 0. So 100% of like the Tamagotchis that are born from that are hatched from the eggs from this point forward would just be Hanachi, so like the worm looking one. And then we were to press apply and then we would make like another user that doesn't have a Tamagotchi associated with the account yet. Like let's say like we'll make another admin user admin4 and then just gonna log out, log in as admin4. Yeah, and then we were to press start game, then since we only have Hanachi available, that's the Tamagotchi that should come out hatching from the egg. And right now, I have it set to like 30 seconds. It's relatively short because I knew like I was gonna have to give this demo. But if you wanna change like the time that it takes for the Tamagotchi to hatch from the egg, you could do so by going to the main fragment and then just changing this number here because this is handled by the handler from the egg idle animation method in like the main fragment. Yeah, so just as we expected, we got a Hanachi here. I forgot to mention this before, but all the icons here are pretty much grayed out, and that means it doesn't work. So while this animation is like taking place and the Tamagotchi hasn't hatched yet, this icon was grayed out before, but you're not gonna be able to like tap on it, and the health stats won't show until you have like a Tamagotchi that's born. Yeah, so oh, and also these handlers are only like responsible for like what's happening in the main fragment, which is just like this part of the screen. Because every time you press like one of these buttons, the fragment changes. So if you want to change the time for like it for how long it takes for the Tamagotchi to hatch, there was also like a timer that was showing at the bottom. So if you want to change that, then you need to actually go to like the home activity. And then I have another set of code here for the egg hatching timer as a countdown timer. So every time the countdown timer ticks, it shows minutes, colon, and then the seconds. And that's gonna keep changing per every second. Oops, let me make this bigger. Per every second, because this is the interval. And this says 30 seconds. And this also says 30 seconds. So they're not connected. They're just running at the same time. So you would probably want to change both. And then yeah, so after it just finishes, it just goes away from the screen. And then like I was saying before, it makes all of the icons that let's see that I finished coding black, and like you would be able to tap on it like after the egg hatches. So yeah, that's that. I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about. I didn't show like the code for the intent factories, but it's there. It's a lot of different activities, and I've already like gone way over the time limit for the video, so I'm not gonna show the code for it, but I showed it transitioning, so I'm just gonna check that off. I showed these two before. I forgot to check it off as I go. I know I showed fragments. What else did I show? I showed activities. I have 6 of them. Persistence. I'm not gonna check off use cases because I was only able to finish 6 out of the 12 required ones. But I'm pretty much done with the video now. This is it. This is legally distinct Tamagotchi. Thank you so much for watching this video. And yeah, I hope you liked it.